The bombing of Hiroshima on August 6, 1945 was a tragedy that shook the world to its core. The bombing killed an estimated 140,000 people and injured many more. The city was reduced to rubble in an instant, and the lives of thousands of innocent civilians were forever changed. It was the first time that a nuclear weapon had been used in warfare, and the bombing remains as one of the most devastating acts of violence in human history. Hiroshima serves as a reminder of the atrocities that can be committed in war. On that fateful day at 8:15 a.m., the United States dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. The explosion tore through the city, destroying everything in its path and leaving a trail of death and destruction. The heat of the explosion was so intense that the people were instantly vaporized, leaving behind only shadows on the ground where they once stood. Those who survived the initial blast were left with terrible burns and injuries, many of them dying soon after from their wounds. The city was left in ruins, with buildings and homes reduced to ashes and rubble. The air was filled with the cries of the injured and the dying, as survivors stumbled through the smoke and debris in search for help. The numbers of casualties were staggering, with an estimated 140,000 people losing their lives by the end of the year, with many more to come with the years to follow. The majority of the victims were civilians, including women, children, and the elderly. A tragic, lesser-known detail is that during World War II, more than 3 million students over 12 years of age were mobilised for labour services throughout the country. As a result, more than 10,000 students were killed, including 7,000 killed by the atomic bomb. They gave up their youth and studies for the nation. This tower was erected by the concerned families and friends to console the souls of these victims who sacrificed themselves for their homeland, and who would have had a promising future had there been no war. The names of the students lost in battle across the country are displayed on a copper sheet behind the monument. The aftermath of the bombing was devastating, as survivors struggled to rebuild their lives amidst all the rubble. Many of them left homeless and had to struggle to find food and water, while others suffered from the long-term effects of radiation sickness. Those who survived the bombing were forever changed, with many carrying the physical and emotional scars of that fateful day for the rest of their lives. Today, Hiroshima is a vibrant city that has risen from the ashes of the bombing. It is a hub of culture and commerce with a thriving art scene, excellent restaurants, and a vibrant nightlife. However, despite its modernity and prosperity, the city is defined by its history, and the memory of the bombing is never far from the minds of its residents. The city is now home to the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park, which is a fitting tribute to those who died from the bombing, and it serves as a reminder of the devastating consequences of war. The park contains several monuments, including the iconic atomic bomb dome, which was one of the few structures left standing after the bombing. The dome has been preserved as a reminder of the tragedy that took place here, and it stands as a symbol of peace and hope for the world free of nuclear weapons. Whilst millions of lives were affected by the bombing, there is one person in particular who has an extremely interesting story. That person, who I had the pleasure of speaking with, is Mito Koze. He is one of the youngest atomic bomb survivors. His mother was 4 months pregnant with him when she entered the center of Hiroshima 3 days after the bombing. Mito had a very sickly childhood, but now he is in good health, telling his story to all. So you've been here for how long doing this?
16 years.
16 years, every single day?
Except on the rainy days.
So you made this little book as well, right? You wrote that yourself? Compiled yourself?
I collected very informative facts.
How long did it take you to make that? It's very informative.
8 years or 7 years.
About 7 years to make?
I read all the official documents.
Ah, I see. So you must get a lot of different countries visiting every single day, right? What country would you say you get the most of?
No, did you see the number of the
I saw a lot of the numbers, yeah. You get someone from every single country. What would you say you get the most of? What nationalities?
US.
US?
Half of the American people are even justifying using atom bombs because of education. But
Sure.
they never come here. All the American people I got here very modest
Sure.
and eager to know the truth, and some apologize to me
Oh, really?
for because no American president apologized to us.
And Barack Obama was the first
He
president.
never apologized.
He didn't?
No, never. I was very disappointed by the first words in his speech. He said, on August 6th, this fell from the sky. He never said we used atom bomb only. This fell from the sky.
Wow.
It's like a natural disaster.
What was your childhood like growing up post?
I was very sickly. When exposed to radiation, we have weak immunity to any kind of disease.
I see.
That's why I'm very sickly, but now very healthy.
Well, that's
And
great.
no pressure. When I was a teacher, I had a lot of pressure,
Sure.
but I am free.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
This is open class.
Well, I think what you're doing is amazing. It's really good. Thank you so much.
To know all the facts are the most important thing. I don't like propaganda.
Sure. And that's why you spread the message.
So the visit I guided never criticize the contents of the information in my book. I believe that my book is very perspective and objective.
And where can people find your book?
Yeah?
And where can people find your book?
No, it's only on the internet.
On the
On
blog?
the blog.
Right, okay. Gotcha. Well, thank
So
you so
I have
much.
to add new information. The situation of the nuclear war is getting worse and worse and changing. So I have to add the newest information to my blog. So it's impossible to add the information on my book.
I
Book
see.
is not so.
Constantly updating,
Yeah.
right?
And everyone can access my blog for free from anywhere.
The park also contains the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum, which is dedicated to preserving the memory of the bombing and educating visitors about the dangers of nuclear weapons. The museum features a variety of exhibits, including artifacts, photographs, and testimonials from survivors of the bombing. Visitors can see the remnants of everyday items, such as clothing and personal possessions, that were affected by the intense heat and radiation from the bombing. The museum also includes interactive exhibits that help visitors understand the impact of the bombing on the city, its residents, and the survivors. One of the most powerful elements of the museum is the testimonials of the survivors, also known as the hibakusha. Visitors can listen to the stories of survival and learn about the physical and emotional effects of the bombing on their lives. The museum also includes exhibits that address the impact of the bombing on future generations, including the transmission of genetic damage to the offspring of the survivors. In addition to its focus on the bombing and its aftermath, the museum also promotes the importance of peace and the elimination of nuclear weapons. It features displays on the history of nuclear weapons and the effects to reduce and eliminate them, as well as exhibits on disarmament initiatives and peace education programs. The Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum is an emotional and powerful experience for its visitors. It serves as a vivid reminder of the human cost of war and the dangers of nuclear weapons. In conclusion, Hiroshima is a city that has risen from the ashes from one of the most traumatic events in human history. Despite the tragedy that took place here, the city is a thriving hub of culture and history, and its residents have a deep connection to the past. The Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park is a fitting tribute to those who have died in the bombing, and it serves as a reminder of the devastating consequences of war. The park is a symbol of hope for a world free of nuclear weapons, and it serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of peace and the need to work towards a safer and more just world for all.